Welcome to the Insight Lab. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Leela. Here we dive into meaningful conversations about growth, mindset, and intentional living.
Together, we explore ideas that spark change and uncover practical insights to help you thrive.
So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's start this journey of discovery together.
Let's dive into an intriguing topic today that many of us can probably relate to, even if we don't always realize it: the idea of the happiness trap. Have you heard about this concept?
Oh, absolutely. It's from Russ Harris's book, right? It challenges the way we constantly chase happiness by avoiding unpleasant thoughts.
Exactly. The book suggests that in our quest to be happy, we tend to avoid or push away negative feelings and thoughts. But that might actually trap us even more. It's not about feeling happy all the time.
Right? It emphasizes self-awareness as a starting point. It reminds me of how we often ignore our bodies until something goes wrong. The book talks about tuning into our physical feelings to prevent this.
Absolutely. There was this poignant story about a woman named Donna who used ACE-T, or acceptance and commitment therapy, to address her overwhelming grief through mindfulness.
That's the one where she learned to focus on her body sensations rather than alcoholic numbness after losing her family in a tragic accident, right?
Yes, to stop fighting her pain and instead creating space for it. Like she focused on the heaviness in her chest, allowing herself to feel it without judgment. Quite powerful.
It is. The approach relies on what's called the observing self, part of us that notices thoughts and feelings without generating them.
And not just observing the body. This principle also applies to our thoughts. This is where cognitive diffusion comes into play.
Cognitive diffusion sounds complex, but if I remember correctly, it's about creating distance from our thoughts instead of blending them with reality.
Exactly. Take Michelle's example. Despite having what seemed like an ideal life, she was trapped by thoughts of inadequacy, believing them to be the absolute truth.
And as the book explains, she learned techniques like prefixing thoughts with, I have a thought that, or even singing negative phrases to silly tunes.
Yes, it sounds a bit crazy at first, but by doing this, she reduced the intense grip of those thoughts.
It's like giving your thoughts a funny nickname. They lose their power, suddenly seeming less daunting.
Right, the book calls such techniques cognitive diffusion, making you realize thoughts are just words passing by.
That's brilliant, so simple, yet profound. Another thing I found was the way it dealt with emotions.
Emotional awareness, using the analogy of emotions being like weather patterns, always changing.
Yeah, Harris himself faced an emotional storm while procrastinating on writing his book, grappling with anxiety, but eventually embracing his feelings.
In the book, he says not to resist emotions, but to let them exist freely. It's about making peace with them.
Which sounds easier said than done, but with practice it can be transformative, giving those emotions space rather than suppressing them.
It even refers to the act of writing down thoughts and emotions daily to better understand your own behavior. Journaling, really.
That's such a simple tool, yet it helps spot the productivity/slashing happiness traps before they spiral out of control.
Harris suggests using a journal as a mirror for our thoughts and feelings. The more we observe, the better we steer our lives.
I guess it all boils down to self-awareness, recognizing and understanding our experiences without getting consumed by them.
It's like bringing balance and meaning to life beyond the endless chase of happiness.
A lesson we all could benefit from. Maybe our listeners might start their own journey of mindfulness starting this week.
That's a great idea. And who knows, it might be just the right step towards a more fulfilling and less trapped life for someone.
Absolutely. As Russ Harris points out, it's about gaining control by understanding and accepting our lives fully and freely.
Until our next thought-provoking discussion, let's challenge ourselves to be more observant and a little gentler with our internal dialogue.
Agreed. So thanks for tuning in, and let's keep exploring these life-changing concepts together. Have a great day, everyone.